Alright guys, and here's the other part of our series. So we're going to start a new series. Recently I'm stuck in traffic right now. So I decided I'd make this series right now, a book that is one of my favorites. This is the book that really started me on kind of like self-improvement. It's the granddaddy of them all in terms for myself. The first one I started with is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So this series we're going to be breaking down piece by piece some of the habits as well as some of the parts in between, so people can understand. And we're gonna be doing this in the car, so I hope that's acceptable. But there's an interesting story. I wanted to kind of share it real quick. How I got into it. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and I've been through so many different self-improvement books, audios, programs, just stuff in general. And this was like the first book that really got me on the path. And this was in college, and it was almost around, I want to say maybe my third year in college, where I was leading snowboarding trips for my excursion club. In the excursion club, we did all these outdoor adventures. So one trip, I'm the leader, I'm leading maybe like 20 to 30 people, and what we would do is we'd go to June Mountain, which was in California, and we would rent out a cabin. And you got this student pass, which was awesome. And it's pretty much like, all day snowboarding or skiing, and then all night partying. It was a awesome time in life. Really, really had a great time. There was one weekend where it was total blizzard out, white out. And, there's no big deal. We go up, and that was the thing where, that's how I'd always tell it. You'd win either way. Either if it's bright and sunny, guess what? We're going to the mountains. If it's terrible outside, it's okay. We're gonna stay indoors. We're gonna save a little money, and we're gonna have a little party inside. We have tons of games and drinks and just meeting other people. It was great. So one time we got snowed in the entire time, and it was like, I don't know, the second or third day where and this is a cabin that somebody owns, and he had a little private library. That's all these books all over the place, and I just pulled out, caught my eye, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, pulled it out and started reading the first couple chapters, and I got hooked immediately. And I went home and I bought my own copy. And I thought this was always a book that I always kind of go back to, and it's always important to, you don't read a book once, you read it continuously throughout your entire life in different increments of time, because you're always a different person every time you read a book. So 7 Habits was like the first book that made me feel looking on self-improvement, and it's been a continuing education series past school, which is very important. So that was kind of like my cool thing, and since then I have gone through a ton of different, in various areas of life, from love to finance to working out to just mindset to like everything. On self-improvement programs and personal development, or whatever you want to call it. So today, let's start off with the kind of the first chapter, or the overview they talk about, and then we're going to get into each chapter for the series. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty. So in the first chapter, he talks about a few different elements, and Steven Covey, I think, is he's a great way of describing this, but 2 major aspects in kind of the beginning chapters. He talks about there's different stages of life that we want to look at, and you want to kind of mark yourself at. And there's one is your stage is dependence, independence, and interdependence. Now this is very important. Dependence means you are dependent on other persons. For example, a kid, if you're growing up usually you're dependent on your family to feed and clothe you, right? And a lot of the times we are dependent on others, or dependent on, certain elements of our life, and you want to start working to get to independent in all areas. You are independent, you're self-fulfilling, you're self-sustaining. Worst case scenario, if that dependency got cut off, you can manage on your own. And it works with life, it works with business, it works with, a lot of different areas. So you got to work on that. But then the main stage you want to get to is interdependence. And interdependence means working 100% with other people so that you work as a team and you get there farther together than you are apart. So there's two Alex. There's the balance that you want to have where you are dependent. You can make it on your own with or without anybody. And the other side of the coin on the balance is interdependence. And interdependence is cooperating with everyone, synergistically to create a better result. And you're going to get there faster working together with other people than you did there by yourself. Okay? There's a balance there of independence and interdependence, right? When you're dependent, that's not the best stage. You want to start working toward it. And nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. But you want to work to get that balance of independence and interdependence, working well, synergistically. And that kind of goes into interdependency, the theory of, Napoleon Hill's mastermind, right? Synergistically, a blending of the minds creates a mastermind, and you maximize, your thinking potential, your working potential. You get there quicker if everybody's on the same page, if everybody has the same goal, right? And it's the same thing. If you're working well with others, you both have the same goal. It's a win-win relationship. It's a relationship where both sides are winning and feeling good about the exchange of services and rates and everything. So try to work toward that. The other part of the chapter talks about what he calls the Ppc Principle. And P means production, and the PC means production capability. And what he likes to say is he uses the example of the goose that laid the golden egg. So if you know the goose that laid the golden egg, a man, farmer, for example, he had a goose. And one day the goose laid a complete 4K golden egg. Excuse me. Golden egg. And the farmer saw this and was like, he checks it out. It's pure gold. Holy mackerel. So he finds out that his goose every day at the same time would lay a golden egg for him. Right? Well, and this would become a routine thing. He's getting the golden egg. He's getting the golden egg. But he gets greedy. And one day he just decides, he thinks that maybe the goose is going to run out. So before he runs out, he goes into the farm, kills the goose, and tries to open him up to hopefully finding a ton of golden eggs. But he's killed the goose, and there, inside there's nothing. It was the ghost that, was producing the golden eggs, and he now has cut off that production, right? There's a lot of ways to interpret that story. For me, it's about what you want to be doing, whatever it is in life. So, for example, if you have a lawnmower, right? Your lawnmower is giving you a certain production, right? If you let it go to waste, if you don't take care of it, that thing's going to rust. Parts are going to start falling off, and it's not going to work anymore. You're going to cut that off, that service. You have to always be sharpening the blade. You have to always be fine-tuning it, getting it fixed up. Same with a car, right? Your car. If you don't take care of your car, it's not going to last. If you take care of your car, getting oil changes, fine-tuning it, getting tune-ups all the time, changing parts when they need to, or fixing it up, that car will last you forever. There's cars from the 20s that still run if you fix them up properly. So that's a big thing. For PPC Principle also, it can also mean financial, a stream of income. You're getting a stream of income for something. And if you keep attending it, put a little money back into it, right? Fine-tuning your mind, fine-tuning your skills, expanding your skills, right? That stream of income can grow, or you can even reinvest it to make other multiple streams. So there's a lot of ways to interpret that, but he says it with everything. If you have a stream, production of something in your life, right? Same with a relationship. If you don't do anything for that relationship's going to dwindle and die. Same thing with the marriage or a girlfriend. You have to keep, putting time and effort, patience, love into that, into that stream. So think about that in the different areas, the different streams of your life, and you can look at all areas, whether it be, social, business, life, different areas that your body. I'm a big believer in you should keep your body well maintained. You should keep your relationships well maintained. You should keep your financial streams well maintained. Your intellectual pursuits well maintained. So think about those. What can you? That's like his last chapter, which is sharpening the axe. But kind of a little preview is, you always want to be revisiting those and making them a little bit stronger, a little bit better. All right, guys. Hope that's been helpful. We're gonna be talking about this all week. It's gonna be a very exciting week. We got one of my best friends' weddings is gonna be on Saturday, so I'm gonna be definitely driving up, and we'll be doing a video during that time too. All right, guys, I'll catch you next time. Okay, cheers.